So we're here with Shelley Parks, one of the top real estate agents in the Dayton, Ohio region. We are very excited that Shelley has moved over to eXp and has done that. And we wanted to share her story a little bit. And I mean, it's been what, a year?
Yep, I've been here about 13 months.
Oh my gosh, that's great.
Yeah.
Good. So in that 13 months, you've seen a lot of changes to your business. Tell us a little bit about how your experience has been this last year and, just how it's gone.
It has gone excellent. I couldn't be happier. I had a fantastic year. It was a little nerve-wracking to switch gears and change companies after being with the company for 18 years. And being busy, there was never the right time to do that.
Right.
So I just made the decision, jumped on it, I hit the ground running, and here I am.
Yeah. So Shelley, tell our listeners a little bit about yourself and kind of a little history.
Sure. I have been a realtor for 20 years, like I said earlier. My dad was in the military, retired at Wright-Patt Air Force Base. I don't even know if you knew that.
No, I didn't know that.
And that's what brought us to Ohio. So I've lived here and I've been selling real estate for 20 years. I grew up in Huber Heights. I live south now. I live in Springboro, and I service the Dayton and Cincinnati markets primarily. I love being a part of Dayton and everything it has to offer.
Well, and you're consistently one of the top agents in the market and the region too. So that was why I was super excited to have you kind of come on board and experience this. And now watching your growth has just been amazing. So many of you might not know this, but Shelley and I have a history. We've been friends for many years. Yeah. And there have been several occasions where I brought up the eXp model to her prior to her joining. And I didn't have much success in getting you to have an open mind. So can you explain kind of where you're at with that?
I can, and I apologize for blowing you off. I blew him off, basically. Change is difficult, especially when you're with a company for a very long time, you're successful. Change is difficult. I really didn't want to hear what he had to say because I was happy, I was comfortable. And I just really thought it was just another sales pitch that he was going to offer me, a higher split, more commission, something like that. And I really just wanted to stay where I was, and I didn't ever really just give you the time of day, I guess. And I really regret that now.
Well, I think what we found is a lot of times people move away from good opportunities, meaning it's not that they're always leaving a bad situation. Sometimes they move for a better opportunity. And I think oftentimes we're scared too to hear that there could be something out there, because then that's going to force us to really have anxiety that, oh my gosh, maybe I need to make this move and I don't want to make a move right now. But no, that's great. And it's very common and we see it all the time. So here you've been here a year, you had a tremendous year. You had a great year.
I did.
It kind of goes to prove the fact that it really doesn't matter what brokerage you're with, because people are still buying from you and your brand, right? Is that your experience too?
That is what I found since I've been in the business a long time. I felt like people were hiring me the last, 10 years because of my experience and knowledge in the real estate market. The brand does matter, but they ultimately were choosing me. But I did have concerns when I switched after all those years. Coldwell Banker's a huge national company, and I just really feared that people might think, well, who's eXp? A lot of people in the Midwest haven't heard about eXp, or it's not. It's growing tremendously, but it's not.
Didn't have that history.
Correct.
Yeah.
And so I did worry a little bit about that. And to be honest, the first few months I did start off a little slow as far as business. And I don't think it's really contributed to that necessarily. It was wintertime, kind of thing. But I have found, having a great year, 30% increase than the previous year before I was here.
That is awesome.
I found that, this is where I belong, and people do hire me, but they also now see the advantage of eXp as well.
Yeah, and you're right. When I say it doesn't matter what brand you're with, I think you have to have a strong brand to start out with, to align yourself with, but then there's certain brands that can take you to the next level.
Sure.
And I think that's kind of what's happened with you. 30% in a down market. Put this in perspective for you guys out there. Most real estate agents, the average was 30% off their high numbers in 2023. So the industry was down as a whole 30%, and yet you had a 30% increase.
I did.
That's pretty awesome.
I did.
What do you think attributes to that success?
With change comes learning, and you know that you're going to have to learn new things. That's what change is. Like I said, I was comfortable, but I felt like I wasn't moving to the next level, even though I did well. So seeing the success of you and your team, and finally giving you the time of day and Angela the time of day to sit down and listen to the business model, I was blown away. So now being in a room with people that have that same philosophy, the collaboration, the support, it's just been an excellent, excellent position for me to fall into.
That's awesome. Well, I think you hit something on the head there that we don't often talk about that much. A lot of times EXP's model has a lot of shiny objects that actually are really cool. The revenue share and the equity, and we can talk about that in a minute, but one of the most undervalued things on the outside looking in is the collaboration. And you're 100% right. I look back on when I was trying to grow my business from 100 deals to 200 deals, and what got me there was paying a lot of money every month to be part of a mastermind group of people that were smarter than me, that were in a room, and I was just soaking up all the information I could get. So the bottom line is being in the right rooms with the right people will elevate your game.
Yes, absolutely. And I want to touch on that a little bit also, since I had been in the business 20 years. I had a method of doing things. Well, times are changing. We're evolving. Technology is changing. That's why EXP is now cloud-based.
Yeah.
If I stayed in the same mode as times change, I'm not going to continue to grow. So being around EXP and everyone here has just allowed me to elevate and continue to learn how to grow my business with today's times.
Oh, that's well said. So Shelley, had an awesome year, which you've done for 20 years, in the past. We established that you're up 30%, but yet you were really eyeing that Icon Award. Can you tell us all a little bit about what the Icon Award's about?
Yes, I can. And that was my biggest goal coming in first year, that I absolutely wanted to get the Icon Award. And the biggest reason is the passive income streams that we talked about that other brokerages don't offer. Once you reach the Icon status, and it's an annual award, you will get your entire money that you've had to pay the broker, you'll get that entire money back in stock. So basically, I worked at 100% commission a whole year. I'm now investing in my future. I have stock, and if I continue to do this year after year, I will be growing my portfolio for retirement, and other brokerages just don't offer that. And I'm so thrilled, and I really, really worked hard for that.
Well, here I look at it, for 25 years I worked for brokerages, and when I left, I had absolutely zero ownership in those companies. And here you are in one short year having thousands of dollars worth of stock and ownership in a company. Imagine if we did this, if EXP was around when we first started, we probably still wouldn't be selling real estate right now.
And why earlier I said that I do regret not talking to you sooner is because of that reason. I wasn't unhappy at my old brokerage. I wasn't mad. I wasn't unhappy. I had a great time. I love everybody there. We're still all friends. It's for that reason. I don't want to work until I'm 100 years old. I want to have a job, where I can build a retirement account. So I can work very hard until that comfortable age where I have something to show for it. So that really is why I say I had regrets not talking with you sooner. Sure. It's for no other reason other than, like you said, when I walked away, I didn't have any kind of retirement account. I had, zero. And that in hindsight, hurts a little.
Well, it does. But the cool thing is, up until, 4 or 5 years ago, there weren't any options, right? We didn't have either you become a broker and or you're an agent. These are the two options you had. You're making a change. It's a business. You're moving your business to a different brokerage. How was the transition?
And that was a little scary thing, because you're always trying to plan when's the right time. Well, if you're busy, there's never a right time. You will always have closings, pending, and there's never a right time. You just have to make the time and make it happen. But the transition really took about a day just to get the license transferred over and up and running and things like that. With anything though, if you want to evolve and grow and learn, you have to always look for change. So whether I was at my current brokerage or looking to move, I should have been evolving with change anyway. So the applications and the software that I had to learn to use, even though it was a little different, I should have been doing those things anyway if I wanted to excel in my business. Yeah. So honestly, it was pretty seamless, and I had a lot of help from you, from Angela, from our Ohio State broker. I mean, the help is there. It really was uneventful for me.
It's amazing to me how we can be a cloud-based business in theory, but yet we still do business. We interact with clients the same way. There's no difference between how we sell, and yet the accessibility of the employees of EXP Corporate is literally within 30 seconds. I mean, everything's just so accessible the way they've got it dialed in. So that's a nice feature.
Yeah,
too.
And that is funny, because I was with a brick and mortar for 18 years, but I basically was a cloud-based business because I never went to the office.
Right.
So I mean, for people that have that misconception that it's just this cloud-based business, and quite honestly, that's the first thing I ever heard about EXP, and I didn't really know what that meant. So it scared me a little bit. But all that really means is it's not a negative. It means you have more accessibility, that you're on the cloud, so we can talk to people if they're not right here with us, and we can see them in real time. So it's just that misconception, what is a cloud-based business? And maybe some smaller brokerages might have it not set up the same way EXP does, but the way EXP is set up, cloud-based business is no different than I always was doing business. I didn't want to come into the office.
Yeah, right.
Now I like to, but.
Well, I mean, think about it. If you had to talk to the corporate accountant at Coldwell Banker, for example, it'd probably take you half a day to actually set up a call or whatever. With EXP, literally, you can pop in the world and be there and have 3 or 4 of the corporate accountants at your fingertips within 30 seconds.
And that has just been an asset, just to be able to hop on and ask any simple little question that you may not want to bother. If you had to pick up a phone call and call somebody, you may not want to bother them with such a simple question. But if you want to do it in a chat forum, you can get answers so quickly that it actually makes it more accessible, in my opinion.
100%, I agree. So another fear that I see a lot of agents have when they make the move over is they fear they're going to lose their brand a little bit, or maybe they think, hey, I'm going to work on Andrew's team or whatever. It's almost the opposite. It's the complete opposite of that. Tell us a little bit about how what your experience has been with being able to still maintain your brand and just essentially align it with this platform.
I felt all of those things with the change. I didn't want to lose my brand, lose myself, be in a room with people I didn't fit in with. That was my fear. I was very comfortable where I was, but it was actually the opposite. Even though I'm not on your team per se, we can still partner together on things. Being around people that are on your team that are successful and watching them succeed has just been very beneficial to be in that environment.
Well, and it's been great for us too, because you've helped our team out and our organization tremendously. That's the name of the game. We really learn from each other, and sometimes we're not always great at everything, so we have to rely on others to kind of bring in their expertise. And certainly, I know we partnered on a couple listings together, and
we did.
I think we did a good job.
We
did. So well, great. All right. So if you had to, speak to somebody that's on the fence about thinking about making a move, and whether they're happy at their current brokerage or if they're maybe they're not so happy, either way, what would be your best advice that you could give somebody out there kind of looking at options and exploring options? What should they do?
The best advice I can give is give somebody from EXP the time to explain the business model.
Right.
There were so many elements of the business model that I didn't know existed that I missed out on I am not missing out on now, but I missed out on years past by not joining EXP sooner. So just sit down with somebody and let them explain the business model to you. There's a lot of people that have misconceptions out there that are saying that EXP is this or that, and I fell prey to that. I believed it. I just thought, well, why would I want to change? I'm happy where I am at. I'm with this national huge brand. Why would I want to change? But when I sat down and listened to the whole business model and the different ways that passive income is offered through us being with EXP, I was floored. I mean, I honestly was, and I felt kind of stupid, to be honest, that I hadn't, I like to think I'm a business person, and yet I let my personal fears interfere with a business decision. And, I had great regret for that for a little while, but I can't turn it around now. I'm just gonna move forward and hopefully help other people realize what EXP really has to offer.
Well, we're excited, and I can't stress that enough too. When you're seeking information, for example, let's say you want to buy a Ford pickup truck, you don't go to a Chevy pickup dealer to get information about the Ford.
Right.
So make sure that if you're out there and you're curious, keep an open mind and go to people that actually are experts in that specific topic. And maybe it's not right for you, right? It's not right for everybody, but at the same time, at least you're learning the facts, and you're gonna be able to make an educated decision on if this is a good business model for you. Maybe it isn't right now, but it could be in the future. So that's well said. So if anybody out there is thinking about a change or has curiosities about EXP or wants to talk to Shelley directly about her experience, and maybe you have questions that maybe she can answer or I can answer, please reach out to us. Shelley's very available. If you DM us or private message us, we'll get back to you right away, but there's a lot of information that I think we can help if you have any questions. And I think Shelley would be the perfect person for you if you're out there thinking about this and yet maybe are a little apprehensive and want to know a little bit more about it.
Yes, even if it's just a fact-finding mission and you're not quite ready, do not hesitate to reach out to me, because I had so many misconceptions that I don't want you also to end up with regrets. So just hit me up.
Okay, cool. No, that's great. Thanks a lot, guys. And if you need anything, give us a buzz.
Thank you.